the September 11th meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? I take a motion.
Make a motion to accept.
We've got a motion to accept.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor? Thank you. Public hearings tonight. We have a conditional use permit application for Y&Z Grow LLC, a medical marijuana dispensary at 201 Norwich Walk Road. That's tax map 31, lot 6, in the Village Land Use District. Who is here tonight to represent YZ Grow? How are you tonight? Thank you.
Good, how about
Very good. Hey, if you would step up to the microphone there and explain, yes, and if you would explain your project a little bit.
But my English is not very well, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
We also have Michelle on the line.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Michelle.
I'm on Zoom.
You're
Yeah,
on Zoom.
here.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Michelle, you're counsel representing YZ Grow?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Explain the project real briefly, if you would.
Okay, so Y&Z Grow right now is operating a caregiver operation at the location that the application is concerning, 201 Norwich Walk Road. We are looking to expand the operation to a dispensary. It's still medical marijuana, but it's under the laws of dispensaries instead of caregiver. And they already have the certificate of occupancy for the caregiver operations there. They're looking, I guess if I could just give a summary here of what the situation is there. That's okay?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, great. So the site already is 500 feet away from all of the prohibited operations. And if you look in the application, we do have some maps there and floor plans that we can go through. The estimated traffic is only going to be about 6 vehicle trips per hour. Not much more than what we have right now. The establishment will use about 250 gallons of water per day. There is a septic system. That should be no problem. It's not going to be, shouldn't be more than 250 gallons a day there. So we've got bi-weekly pickup from a qualified disposal company for all of the waste products there. We're going to comply with the security camera and alarm system requirements that are set forth in the land use ordinance. The odor plan is being developed and going to be provided by a qualified odor installation company. There'll be no pesticides used, so we don't need that license. Let's see. No manufacturing, just cultivation and store. And that's what they're doing right now. So it's the same types of operations. It's just expanded and under a different category. The state license, we don't have a conditional state license because when you're talking about dispensaries, it's different than adult use. They don't give conditional licenses until you get approval from the town for dispensaries. So it's a little bit different than the other process.
Okay.
With the state. Let's see what else I can tell you on this. So that's the gist of it. If you wanted, did you want to look at the maps or anything? I mean, so they're not doing any construction also. It's only expanding the actual grow or cultivation. It's really like, it changes into the dispensary category, but in reality, what you're going to see different is expansion and grow. That's it.
Okay, we're in public hearing tonight. I understand these registered letters all went out on time. Is there anybody to speak to this issue from the public? On Zoom, maybe?
No one else on Zoom.
No one else?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 abutters were notified. Nobody on Zoom, nobody in the public. We will wait just a minute to see if any of those 11 show up or zoom in. But at this time, there is nobody zooming in, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, we have a public hearing with no public. This seems simple. After saying that, I'd like to close the public hearing because there's no public. We'll move on to item 4 on our agenda, which is unfinished business, and we have none. Under new business, A, conditional use permit for Y&Z Grow LLC for a medical marijuana dispensary at 201 Nordswalk Road, tax map 31, lot 6, in the Village Land Use District. What questions or comments do we have from our board tonight on this presentation?
I have a couple things.
Okay.
On page 1 of the application,
Okay.
the structure is approximately 20,000 square feet. If you look on a letter,
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I apologize, it's supposed to be 10,000 square feet.
Okay, so that's an error in the application?
because the letter says 10,000.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's supposed to be 10,000 square feet, is my
Thank you.
understanding.
And the next thing I found is on page 2 of the application, you have it crossed out and said type of sewer, disposal of septic.
Oh, right, so we had thought that it was no septic, apologize for that, and that was caught afterwards, that there is septic on the property.
That's in the application.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, one of them said there was no septic.
Thank you.
Trying to find my note.
On the application, I see page 2, they crossed out town and wrote septic.
Correct.
And I think they're talking about this subsurface design.
Well, I'm talking about another letter.
Okay.
Yeah, it does say in item 4 under the statements concerning conditional use application, it does say septic, there is no septic system.
Right.
But I think that was just, again, another, should have been corrected after it was submitted, but wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. And this septic that we see here in front of us was installed 6 or 8 years ago when they tore down the apartment house next door. This was
Okay.
installed near that apartment house that got
Okay.
torn down,
Okay.
which services the building. Okay, very good, thank you. Any other questions or comments from our board?
I have a couple. Michelle, you had indicated that there was a odor control company designing a new system. In the application, it indicates that the existing odor control carbon canisters are hopefully going to be reutilized because they're working for the existing operation. Is that?
We're also going to have another, I did submit, I don't know if you received a supplemental statement. I'll find it during this time here. But I did submit a supplemental statement concerning the odor control to Ms. Martin concerning the company that we're going to be using. And I can get that to you. There's a professional company that we're going to be using for that.
Okay. Yeah, the board didn't see it, but Nicole may have not got it to us in time.
We can list that as a conditional approval till we see it.
Yeah,
because
I agree
Nicole's
we
not
should.
here. Thank you.
Is there a concern that the existing odor control isn't working, and is that why another professional is being brought in?
No, not at all. It's just really to appease you.
Okay.
In case you had any issue with the odor control system. That's all that's for. It's working.
We have
The way that it is.
comments here, so apparently odor isn't an issue today, and there are houses right next door and across the street.
Right.
But we will list that, thank you,
Yeah.
as a condition of approval. I have a quick question. On the floor plan of all these rooms and spaces, how much of this is on this lease program? Is the entire building being leased? The entire
Yes.
building? Okay,
Currently, the entire building is being leased, yes.
okay, very good.
In regards to the lease, who's responsible for upkeep of the odor control system? Is that the building owner or is that the business?
The tenant is responsible for odor control.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from our board on this application we see here today?
I had a question on the floor layout. What is the difference between a flower room and a veg room?
So veg room is free flower, so it's more like there's nursery with the seedlings. That's what happens first. You have seedlings and then they grow into a small plant and then they grow into a larger plant, but it's not flowering yet with the cannabis that's used. And then once it goes into the flower room, it's moved into the flower room for flowering, and that produces the product
Okay.
in that room. Is that clear, or should I clarify more?
Nope, that's fine.
Okay.
Anything else from our board on this application? Good questions, thank you. Hearing no questions, I assume, since Nicole isn't here, I have to go to finding of fact. Okay, and I'm sure Nicole's watching or gonna watch to see if we screw this up. So,
And she's probably hoping.
oh, she's hoping, okay, I'm gonna disappoint her here, okay? We're going to move to finding of fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, board, because we don't have Nicole. This process tonight is, this application can be voted on tonight after we do finding of fact. Makes sense? Very good. Here we go, finding of fact. Medical marijuana dispensary facility, change of use from medical marijuana caregiver at the existing building at 201 Norwich Walk Road, map 31, lot 006. A site plan drawn to scale, showing at a minimum the location of existing and proposed structures, distance from lot lines. All of that is part of the site plan submitted to the planning board with the application. Existing facility, no changes are planned. Additional site plan elements, existing topographical contours, existing pedestrian and travel ways, existing exterior lighting, existing landscape, existing water, sewer, and electrical lines, and outside installation of any machinery or materials. We do have an estimate of vehicle trips per day, and a subsurface wastewater treatment system will be used. It was installed in 2016. A statement from the fire chief, suitable provisions for fire protection has been included. We have a letter submitted with the application. A list of names and abutters, we have that, and the list of names are here, and those people were notified. Nobody responded to the public hearing. The development will not create unsafe or unhealth conditions. The change of use from medical marijuana to caregiver to medical marijuana dispensary in the existing building will not create any external changes. The development will not create or add traffic congestion at or below level service D. This change of use from medical marijuana caregiver to medical marijuana dispensary inside the existing building will not create or add traffic that already exists at 6 vehicle trips at peak hour. The development will not result in undue reduction of air or water quality or wildlife habitat. This change of use from medical marijuana caregiver to medical marijuana dispensary inside the existing building will not result in undue reduction of air or water quality. And we talked about the filter system. Odor control. Odor control is by carbon filter installed since 2016. The development will not cause an undue strain on public facilities or services, including roads, water, sewer, solid waste, police, educational, and otherwise. Public water supply usage will not change. Property as shown on the site plan, this is a state road, and traffic will remain at 6 vehicles at peak hour. No educational services are required for this development. The application has sufficient financial and technical capacity to complete the development. There is no construction proposed as part of this application. The development is consistent with the Fairfield Comprehensive Plan in compliance with state law, as well as ordinances and rules and regulations of the town, including the performance standards of this ordinance, unless the board acts to waive this standard. The reuse of existing commercial building at this previously occupied commercial property is consistent with Fairfield's comprehensive plan for economical development and job creation and is compliant with the state and local laws and regulations. A statement regarding the use of storage or disposal of any dangerous, toxic, special, or hazardous waste, details of the medical marijuana dispensary disposal system procedures submitted with the application. Floor plan shows location of the required notices, warning signs, detailed in the medical marijuana dispensary business, section 9.2, number 17, as shown on the plan. A detailed report outlining how the establishment will meet the security requirements. Medical marijuana dispensary facility security plan will keep recording for 45 days to be consistent with state law. Location of the cameras on the plan. What company is doing the professional monitoring is a question mark. Do you know? Which company is doing the monitoring of the cameras?
You're muted, Michelle.
We'll get back to that as a conditional approval.
Your mic is muted, Michelle.
We will get back to that guy. Signs in accordance with Land Use Ordinance Section 8.3, State of Maine signage laws. All exterior signs are existing and no modifications are planned. Number 17 requires notice sign location in the facility. Section 9.2, medical marijuana dispensary business standards in the Fairfield Land Use Ordinance number 1 through 22. Standard number 1 through 22 have been reviewed and they have been met. Without conditions and with conditions see below. Or with conditions see below. Conditions of approval of this medical marijuana dispensary conditional use permit. In accordance with section 9.20C, this conditional use permit for medical marijuana dispensary shall allow the cultivation of not to more than 20,000 square feet of mature marijuana plant canopy. Is that 20,000 square feet supposed to be 10,000 square feet?
I believe so.
Okay, that's our third conditional approval. Okay, let's see if you can get her back on the line so we can get these conditional issues going. Waiver granted, none requested. Decision based on the facts above and conclusions on October 2nd, 2023, the planning board voted to approve or without conditions your medical marijuana dispensary conditional land use permit application. Signed, Terry Mishu. So, at this point, we have 3 conditions that are questionable, which can be answered. One of them is odor control. Will the new odor control system be online and when? The second question or condition could be who in fact is monitoring the security, and it's probably Main Security or Seacoast Security is the one locally. Is that yours, Seacoast? Okay. Then the third question, is there 10,000 square feet of grow or 20,000 square feet of grow? And we're assuming it's 10,000 square feet that we're approving here tonight. Okay? What's that? 10,000, okay. Okay.
I have one question, Lloyd.
Go, please, no, yeah.
Well, we want a conditional of when they get the new filter system in, but they already have one in place now that works, correct?
That's what we were told, that the carbon filter system is functioning and working, that was installed in
In
2016.
2016.
But she stated that they're putting a new,
No, they're gonna have the company come and reevaluate.
Okay.
This is how I understood it, so
Okay.
the only, one of the bigger things of change here is they're upscaling the grow portion.
yep,
So they're gonna have them come in and evaluate that it will
odor
still be
control.
adequate
okay.
and make changes if necessary.
That's what I
how
understood
read and
also.
understood
Is that right?
That's how I understood it.
And I
Okay.
think our condition could be,
That's exactly what we plan to do.
What's that? That's exactly.
That's exactly what we plan to do.
So I think the condition would be, we would just want to see a report of the findings of that evaluation? Does that make sense?
Yes.
You
Yes.
have a working
Thank you.
system, but we just need to check that it's going to be able to handle the capacity of increased growing, right?
Exactly. Thank
It
you.
still becomes a conditional approval that the existing is functioning, but as they expand the grow, they're doing an evaluation, which should go through code to make sure that it's functioning correctly.
Yep.
So it's a condition of this approval. The security monitoring, are you aware who that company is?
Yes, it's Coda. I do have the statement, if I can share my screen. I did send it in. I don't know, is that helpful or not?
No, we can't see that.
Okay, it's Kayer Security.
Kayer, thank you.
You know them.
Yeah, so Kayer is contracted to do the security.
We're in discussion, that's who they intend to hire once we get the approval, yeah.
Okay,
They didn't actually pay them yet because we don't have approval, so.
okay. Are we talking about 10,000 square feet or 20,000 square feet on this application?
It is 10,000 square feet,
Thank you.
for sure.
Okay. So, we are consistent with 10,000 square feet, that's not an issue. The required monitoring is Kayer, and they're a legitimate company right here in town, we're fine with that. So I assume, unless the board has any other conditions of approval, that the only issue is this new odor control. Any other conditions of approval from the board tonight?
do we want to require that the odor control report be brought back to the planning board or Nicole for approval?
Code would be jurisdictional in saying that's adequate, and trust me, Nicole will get the call from the neighbors if it isn't adequate. So Nicole will be judge and jury on that. But I would still take a motion, if the board is ready, to list the odor control as a condition of approval, that the new design and the new system is reviewed and recommended or installed to the satisfaction of code.
I just want to point something out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to point something out that previously that facility had all the rooms that we planned to use for cultivation, and the odor control was sufficient. Currently, we're up right now. It's about only 3 rooms are occupied, so that's about 30 to 40% usage.
Okay?
But at one point, it was fully utilized, and we didn't have any problems.
So is it your opinion that you will not install a different system unless needed?
Well, that is the plan. If it's required, we will install. But like the other gentleman says, if you guys want us to hire somebody to evaluate it, we can do that as well.
So there's not anybody currently on board to do an evaluation.
Is that correct? There's nobody on board currently to do an evaluation?
They have not hired anybody because we haven't got,
To that
no,
point.
they haven't hired anybody for that yet.
I think an
That's
evaluation.
gonna be a problem. I mean, they're
Flavor of the
definitely,
board.
Yeah.
I think I read that the intent was to do that,
yeah.
and I think that's not
Okay.
asking too much.
Again, we're understanding that there's a current filter system that was installed in 2016 for this facility, and Nicole isn't here to say she hasn't had any complaints, so we're at a disadvantage there. So I will say it again, there appears to be one issue that could be a conditional approval item tonight, and that is at least do an evaluation on odor control because it's an older system and there seems to be some question that a new system may be warranted. We don't know. Nicole's not here to say she's had no complaints. So this evaluation, because of there's a change of use here, may be valid. I'd hate to get a bunch of complaints from the neighbors in the next month that this board was negligent in allowing this to go through with the filter system when we're not sure if it's absolutely functioning and there's no complaining neighbors. So, any other questions before we ask for a motion? Hearing none, I would take a motion that might address future odor control issues.
I make a motion to accept it with the condition that they get to
Evaluate.
hire someone to evaluate the old system to make sure it will handle the new operation.
I have a motion, thank you. And that's just to do the evaluation. Question? Okay, I have a motion and second. Any discussion or questions about this?
Should we make it conditional that the opinion of the odor control specialist actually be enacted?
The motion to the board is to have an evaluation done, which,
them to correct.
the motion here is to have the evaluation done to see if different or improved odor control is necessary. So the motion on the table is to have this evaluation done. Not that they have to change the system, not that they have to buy a new one, but at least an evaluation by a licensed certified guy reporting to Nicole. And the reason I bring this up is we have had calls in neighborhoods where there were small grows that there was a dead skunk in the road. And there wasn't a dead skunk in the road, there was no odor control, okay? And I don't think the neighbors should have to deal with that. If the odor control systems that are required by law are functioning and online, we don't have these complaints coming to the code, and our board won't receive complaints that we allowed this to happen without reviewing whether there's adequate odor control. That's the issue. And again, the motion, would you repeat it? I'll take that motion again. Your motion was?
With the condition that they have a test done to verify that the old system will handle the odor of the new
Change of views.
change of use.
Okay? So that's the motion on the table, and we have a second. Any other discussion? Because it's a good issue. We need to make sure that we do this right.
Well, I drove to Greenville and back Saturday, and certain towns we went through with my air set for the outside circulation, you could tell which places were dealing with marijuana. You could smell it. I had to turn the control to the inside of the vehicle not to smell it going through towns. So, I mean, it is out there, and it's shown.
Right. And again, we're addressing an issue that's required by the ordinance,
Right.
which is odor control. And they, again, have a system that appears to be functioning. That's great. To have that system evaluated, saying it's functioning fine, just means that we won't be receiving a lot of complaints. And there are houses right there in that neighborhood. And there's nobody here tonight. That's a vote of confidence that you're doing a good job there. But to be sure, it was mentioned that they do an evaluation. At least do the evaluation. You don't have to change anything. It's functioning now. You're at 30% capacity. That's great. When you get up to 100, I don't want the neighbors complaining. Okay? Okay, have a motion and a second. We ready to vote? I'd call for a vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Neutral. You have your vote. 4?
Thank you very much.
Is it 4 or 3?
I'm not a voting member tonight.
You're not, but you voted as well.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. We're all set.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Great.
Chairman
Welcome.
and Board, for your time and the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, items by the public. The clerk's not here, or members. Any items by members or, there's no public, there's no clerk, it's just members. Any items? I understand you guys have done your first meeting with KV Cog. And there's a schedule for meetings.
Tonight for Article 1, 2, and 3.
On the 11th, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, the next is,
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead, yes. Go ahead.
So we're good regarding the dispensary.
You are good regarding the dispensary, and we only have a condition on that approval that you do the odor evaluation only.
Okay, so the conditional approval, does that mean we can go ahead with our next step in the plan? Or do we get the evaluation first and then get your approval?
No.
I just want to clarify.
Okay, good question. You've got approval from the majority of the board, and that approval just means that you are going to do an odor control evaluation. Don't stop your process, keep right on going with what you're doing, but do an evaluation of your existing odor control and make sure it's adequate for what you're going to be doing in the future, that's all. But don't stop the process, keep proceeding.
Okay.
All set? Any other questions?
So we have to get back to you guys regarding the odor control?
Nicole.
You will get back to Nicole Martin, the code enforcement officer, with someone you're going to hire to do an evaluation of your odor control system. And just contact Nicole. She's sick, so she
Okay, thank you.
she may not be in her office.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, but keep going with your
Okay,
process.
so-
You have this board's approval.
Okay, now, Mr. Chen brought in a full-size map. We're supposed, he's not there. Should he leave it with you guys?
Okay, repeat the question, please.
Mr. Chen, that's sitting across from you, he brought in a map, I think a full-size map that was requested by Nicole. Should we leave it with you guys, or do we hand it to Nicole another day? She's not there
Have a
today.
map for us, for Nicole.
Do you have a map? Okay, is it require signature? Let me see that.
No, it was just something that was requested to bring in to give it to Nicole.
Okay, if you have some.
You guys have a smaller map already in the application.
We have
This is
that.
just the full size.
Yeah, no, there's 3 different size maps here, little one, bigger one here, that show the layout of your building. So if Nicole has asked for something, just get it to the town office for Nicole, and that's all.
Okay. Okay, so he's done, right? So he can actually go back, right?
He's done, he can go back.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
bye.
See ya.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Okay. You said it was the 11th.
Yes, the 11th, we'll be reviewing Articles 1 and 2 of the land.
Oh, I thought I'd have written down tonight.
No.
Well, I'm way ahead of myself.
Oh, so you're already.
Well,
Go
it says
ahead.
December 2nd at 5 PM on my,
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's October 11th.
December 2nd? No, October 2nd?
That's tonight's meeting that was to review this application.
Oh, okay.
We made
I misunderstood, okay.
We've made a schedule for reviewing the land use ordinance.
Yes.
Separately from our meetings.
Gotcha.
Around
okay.
planning
Is it
board
going to
business.
happen, what's the date on the 13th? I mean, what day?
It is, oh gosh, I don't know what day of the week. It's the 11th.
Yes.
October 11th.
October 11th. I think it's a Wednesday.
It is. It's Wednesday, October 11th at 5 PM.
Gotcha. Okay.
Tuesday.
Super, super.
Yeah, that threw me off.
Okay.
That's
Doesn't happen.
2022.
I mean,
You're right.
That's definitely
I
outdated.
was just happy that I could see it from here. I can't read that print, but I can still see that calendar.
Okay.
Huh?
You're doing well.
The only thing that's fading for me is reading the fine print. But I'm of that age, I guess.
Any other items by members? Hearing none, I'd call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second. Second. All those in favor? Thank you. Good question.